Earlier this year, Diadem dropped the Warrior BluCore line, and let's be honest, it kind of flopped. The paddles felt inconsistent, underwhelming, and drew mostly negative reviews. So when Diadem announced the Edge BluCore series, I came in skeptical. They look good, but does the performance finally match the price? I've been testing all four models, Pro and Hybrid, each in 14 and 16 millimeter models. And here's the truth. These are a clear improvement over the Warrior, but they still aren't market shakers. Spin is strong, power is respectable, but the feel is stiff and sometimes jarring. The 16mm versions have a better sweet spot and forgiveness, while the 14s swing quicker, but both are jarring on mishits. Full disclosure, Diadem sent me these paddles with no strings attached. I wasn't paid, and my code MPB knocks the $250 price tag down to $225. The Edge BluCore line is competitive, but at this price, being merely competitive might not be enough. So let's dig into what Diadem calls their PowerSync BluCore construction. The core itself is solid closed-cell expanded polypropylene, EPP foam expanded in pressurized molds for consistency. Around that sits a tapered EVA foam perimeter ring, which adds rebound and stability. Without that EVA ring, these paddles would feel even harsher, so it's an important piece of the design. This isn't a floating core like you see in some Gen 3 builds. It's more of a modified diving board setup where the EPP center is tied directly into the EVA perimeter instead of moving independently. Think of it as it's closer to Yola's propulsion core or Honolulu Pickleball's FC Plus design with some nuance and more limited performance. What Diadem does differently is the placement of high-density foam inside the paddle. Instead of adding weight externally, they've built internal weighting into the structure. That extra mass raises swing and twist weight, improves stability, and is supposed to cut vibration at the same time. On the edges, Diadem uses what they call shock guard silicone, molded directly into the edge guard. That's meant to serve two purposes, dampening vibration and adding mass for balance. Compared to the old Warrior BluCore, these do feel less harsh on impact, though they still carry some of that tingy quality Braden from Pickleball Effect pointed out. The hitting surface is 3D 18K triaxial woven carbon fiber with solid grit, and that's a big reason why spin is the clear standout. The internal weighting and perimeter foam also create distinct differences between the 14 and 16mm models. The thinner paddles swing faster and feel more agile, while the 16mm versions add stability, forgiveness, and a bit more controlled power. All four shapes share the same handle spec, 5.75 inches long with a 4.125 circumference. Starting with the 16mm models, the Pro 16 weighs 8.08 ounces with a swing weight of 116.9 and a twist weight of 6.25. Serve speed came in at 59.2 miles per hour, which puts it in the upper 80th percentile for power. Punch volleys were 37.4 miles per hour, right around average, and spin measured 2,286 RPM, about the 80th percentile. The Hybrid 16 is almost identical. It weighs 8.13 ounces static with a swing weight of 115.65 and a twist weight of 6.95. Serve speed was 59.1 miles per hour, also in the upper 80th percentile. Punch volleys landed at 37.2, and spin peaked at 2,292 RPM, which is upper 80s, the best in the lineup. Now the 14mm models. The Pro 14 comes in at 7.93 ounces static with a swing weight of 118.7 and a twist weight of 6.15. Serve speed dropped to 59 miles per hour, still in the upper 70s to 80th percentile. Punch volleys measured 37.6, again average, and spin was 2,262 RPM, about the 70th percentile. The Hybrid 14 weighs 8.08 ounces static with a swing weight of 112.45 and a twist weight of 6.6. Serve speed was 58.7, upper 70s. Punch volleys were 37.7, and spin came in at 2,257 RPM, also about the 70th percentile. And here's the takeaway. The 16mm models are more stable and forgiving, with bigger sweet spots and more consistent control. The 14mm models feel quicker and more agile, but they twist more on off-center hits and have a harsher, more hollow feel. Dimensionally, the Pro shape, the elongated, is 16.375 inches by 7.5 inches wide. The Hybrid runs 16.25 inches long by 7.75 inches wide. Across the lineup, firepower scores range from 66 to 72, which puts them in the all-court, slightly power-leaning range, but not in the explosive tier. Here's where the thickness difference really shows up. Both the 14 and 16mm models fall into that all-court, maybe slightly leaning power category, but they play very differently. The 14mm versions are the ones I gravitated towards. They're quicker through the hands, more agile, and give you a livelier response. I've heard others say that these feel like a board, but I don't agree. They play like other foam paddles, faster and snappier than the 16s. The downside is that they can feel harsh and disconnected on off-center hits. Adding weight helps, but it doesn't fully smooth out that jarring quality. The 16mm models flip the trade-off. They're more stable, more forgiving, and give you a larger sweet spot. Off-center hits don't twist the paddle as much, but the response is stiffer and less lively. They're steady, not explosive, and they don't quite reach the softer feel of other foam builds. Spin is the clear standout across the lineup. I consistently measured 2,200 RPM range, which lands between the 70th to 80th percentile. Power falls in that controlled mid to upper tier around the low 80s percentile, enough to play offense and finish points, but not overwhelming. The 14s gave me a touch more pace, which is part of the reason I preferred them more. Pop is right down the middle. Punch volleys measured about 37 miles per hour, average. The 14mm paddles have a livelier rebound, while the 16s are steadier, which I'd actually call a positive at the net. In terms of feedback, my playtest group, aka friends, was split. Some liked the firm connection, others thought the 14s were too harsh. The 16s softened it a little, but neither version made them want to give up their Loco or C45 and boomstick paddles. If I had to pick, the Pro 14 is the one I'd play. The speed and agility make it the most fun. The Hybrid 14 is a close second, offering nearly the same quickness with a little more stability. When you're deciding between shapes, here's how it breaks down. The Pro is the elongated option at 16.375 inches long by 7.5 inches wide. You get extra reach and more drive power, and my pick in this lineup is the Pro 14. It moved faster in my hands and gave me more punch when I wanted it. 3 grams on each side is more than enough to stabilize it and give it some extra mass for plow-through. The Hybrid 14 is my second choice. It's similar to the Pro 14, but has slightly better stability thanks to that wider face and higher twist weight. If stability is your top priority, the 16mm versions are the way to go. Both the Pro 16 and Hybrid 16 give you larger sweet spots and more controlled power, but they don't have the lively feel of the 14mm models. All 4 paddles share a 5.75-inch handle, plenty of room for two-handed backhands. So here's my recommendations. If you want speed and agility with a bit more pop, go with the 14s, but expect to add some weight. If you want forgiveness and a steadier response, the 16s are a safer bet. So here's where value comes into play. The Edge BluCore sits in that upper middle tier of foam paddles, but it's competing against options that cost less and play better. Take the bread and butter Loco. At $199 retail or $180 with my code MPB, it delivers more response, better pop, and a better feel. The Rhombus Quanta makes the case even harder. At $119 retail or $99 with my code, it can be set up with weight to outperform the Edge BluCore at half the price. That's a $150 gap. The only real advantage Diadem brings to the table is warranty coverage, which I'll get into next. Now, the Edge BluCore does have some positives. The construction is thoughtful, internal weighting, the EVA perimeter, the silicone dampening system, but good engineering doesn't always mean great performance. These paddles still carry that stiff, sometimes disconnected feel. The reality is simple. The Loco, the Quanta, and even foam paddles like Honolulu's NF and FC Plus give you better experiences at lower prices. The Edge BluCore is decent, but in today's market, decent isn't enough. The retail price is $250 or $225 with my code MPB. And here's the truth, these paddles are competitive, but being competitive isn't the same as being compelling. The one thing Diadem offers that some other brands don't is a lifetime core warranty against dead spots and delamination. Most competitors stop at 6 months. That warranty does add value, but does it justify paying $75 to $150 more when so many alternatives perform better? That's a question for you to answer. So that's it. That's the Diadem Edge BluCore review. These are functional paddles, but in today's competitive market, where foam is getting so much better, functional just isn't compelling enough. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If this review helped you decide, hit like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.